Morning, Reverend Ed Trevors. Yeah, groveling one out here in the West Coast of California. We were John C. Roseman, California. That little section that you had, when the Bible isn't as clear as you think it is, boy, you got that straight. Problem is, you got it all wrong again. You already gave the clue, but now you're using the other passages to cover it up. What is it with you? Good Lord, I got to do the research for everybody these days, even for God. Okay, you're not going back far enough on this one. I keep telling people history, history, history. I swear. What is it about me? I mean, I wasn't a history buff when I was growing up as a kid, but now I've got to be. Okay, you got to put things together in this one. You got to put them in perspective. You got to put them in a time and space at this point over here because you're definitely not getting it, my friend. And this is something that still needs to be talked about. Psalms 51, 1 through 6. And yet you said that 5 and 6 we had to focus on. Surely I was sinful at birth. Let me go earlier than that. You're right in the birth, you can justify when the judge. Surely I was sinful at birth, sinful from the time my mother conceived me. Yet you desired faithfulness even in the womb. You taught me wisdom in that secret place. The problem is, where do we get sin from? Did Adam and Eve actually cause a cataclysmic event that led up to our point in space and time? And yet, we think of the outlash and the outback and the consequences happening here and now. What the hell happened up there? Context, perspective. You gotta see the damn. You gotta see the picture on this one. You have to. Sometimes it scares the hell out of me why I keep putting these things together in my head, and then I keep figuring, man, if he ever knew what the hell was going on, I mean, the deeper secrets of heaven at this point over here, we wouldn't be alive to deal with it. Our souls may have been going crazy at that point, but our mortal brains cannot understand the logic and what's going on upstairs. Unless, of course, you understand the politics of heaven and everything else going on. And that scares me every time I keep trying to make that kind of leap of faith. And when I'm trying to leap beyond our own logic at this point over here, we're supposed to be in tune to the Bible and follow it word for word. But we have so much contradictions in the human translations and transcriptions going on. What's truth and what's not? What's being mislabeled and what's not being mislabeled? Am I saying the Bible is wrong? No. It was translated so many damn times. What's wrong and what's right about it? But then you start comparing this section and this section that doesn't jive. If I was sinful at birth, if I was sinful at the time I was conceived, I already had inherited it from Adam and Eve, who made the first sin recorded in the Bible. They bit into the tree of knowledge, into the fruit of knowledge on the tree. And then supposedly gain something that scared the hell out of them. Awareness. Maybe in that time they actually had awareness of more than what was recorded. Maybe. And how was it being transcribed and who was transcribing it? Always, I have to find the answers on this one. But if I actually started getting into that kind of realm, would I be able to translate it here adequately? See, there had to be things happening up in heaven before we even realized it, before even the conception of earth. We said that the universe was out without form, or actually we said earth without form. Well, it was forming. We have scientific basis of the earth forming. It didn't take 6 or 7 thousand years to do so. It took longer than that. And the universe took longer than that. So the question is, what happened before the Big Bang? In that instance, beyond time and space, in that section we call eternity, what was going on? Was there a war? Was there not a war? Was there a war of celestials? Was there a war of the angels? Was there a war of God going on? And how is that going to be affecting the new creation of new life at this point? That he really had to put the warnings on, but really not sufficient enough. Why did he put it there in the first place? If he knew this was going on, if he knew this was happening, why the lack of security on this one when he created Adam and Eve? If he knew. See, I always have to question, beyond doubting Thomas, if I had been one of the 12 disciples or actually heard about Christ being coming up from the grave, yeah, I would probably want to find out too. I would say, touch his hand, touch this, see that I'm real. I'm like, yeah, I know, I hear you and I see you. I feel you. But I'd have more questions about that one to solidify you being alive, Christ. I would have more questions. More than what would be allowed. I would have to ask him deeper questions. Why was it necessary? You were going to be the scapegoat, but the thing is, we were trying to start up the process, weren't you? God wanted somebody down here to start up the process because there was nobody down here he trusted, so he sent you down here to start the process. Took him that long. If we really didn't want to sin, how come we couldn't start it earlier than that? Why didn't he start it earlier than that? Again, it goes back to Adam and Eve. Why was it there unguarded? Or why was it there in the garden, period? If God had just wanted Adam and Eve, and that's about it, and maybe some kids after that, okay, fine. But what was it there for in the first place? See, as a mortal man, I don't have all the answers. I have suppositions and I question. I don't question the exam. I don't question the afterlife. I've been through it. It scared the hell out of me. What I question, what I ask for a question, is why. What happened prior to the Big Bang, or what happened, after the collapse and then the Big Bang started up in our universe? What was going on? Why are we in a kind of cycle? What was going on? And would it have so much profound change? Would it have something profound that we can't describe or label, but it's right there? Keeping an eye out there for working. Waiting for the management to get over here so they can do their bug bombing here. That's why my eyesight's there towards the window. But it still doesn't abate what I feel and think about. This blew me. This got my attention on this one. If we were created in sin, that means the process started a hell of a long time ago. Maybe before the Bible did. Before man's understanding. And having a grasp on that one, I want to know the truth. Why were we born in sin? What happened that put us in this situation before Adam and Eve? If we were not supposed to be born in sin, then we shouldn't be in this situation in the first place. If we're supposed to be born in sin, it's got to be some kind of a process then. Something. an agreement, something that matters more than what we understand and grasp onto. Or maybe I'm just going up conspiracy theories because I don't have a clue. I don't have an answer. I don't have solid proof. All I have supposition. I see the records, but they don't make sense. I see the information, but it's a kludge. That's one thing Christ is trying to give out instructions to people left and right, saying, this is how we would like for you to behave at this point over here. Fine. Okay, I understand that. I don't deny your existence. I acknowledge it. Hell, I even liked a lot of it. Trying to treat people individually or with respect and love. Okay, fine, cool. But, but, we're going to say that we're born in sin. Why? Adam and Eve. Okay, but was there anything happening prior to that? That's the thing. The Psalms have said something about it. It's a clue. For I know my transgressions, and my sin is always before me. What the hell did I do to make the sin? What did I do to cause this damn thing? I inherited it. We inherited it, the sin. Why? How? Adam and Eve. Yeah. What happened prior to that? That's where some of the pastors and preachers and probably everybody else is going, how dare you? I dare, damn it. You want me to inherit sin? Fine. Code of ethics, code of behaviors. If it's only happening to people afterwards, fine. But were we born sinful when we came down from heaven? Because now we got a legacy that we have to still deal with for God knows how long. The Bible's been redrafted so many damn times. How and why? I'm sorry, I can't accept. Doubting Thomas? Ooh. Sounds like I'm becoming some rotten advocate at this point over here. Trying to understand the level of that one. Because there may be more to it than that. And these are slippery, greasy, slimy slopes that have no traction. Trying to climb back up the damn thing once you're going down it. If I accept the notion that Adam and Eve screwed up because of curiosity, why was that put in there in the first place? Because they got tempted by the guy who's greasier and slimier than anything. And he wanted it. And he got it. And now we have things screwed up. Now what do we do with it? Because every time a kid comes out of the mother's womb, sin after sin after sin. So we have to start praying for forgiveness because we were born into it. Why? Because somebody else screwed up in the past and started a chain reaction that made us into the situation we got right now as it is. But my question is, why was it there in the first place? Why was it there? That's what I want to know. We're born in sin and we had no choice. We didn't know. How could we have known? We should have known, but we didn't. But I'm supposed to accept Jesus as the prophet at this point over here, as the word of God at this point. Was he trying to do damage control? If I'm going to be judged, then judge me on the stuff I screwed up on. Not because of something else that happened a hell of a long while ago. They say the wages of sin is death. Yeah, well, you got me into this damn thing in the first place when I didn't have a choice. I was born created in sin. Why? What did I do to piss off God when I came into creation? See, there had to be a set of conditions. There had to be something beyond what we know. There has to be something out there. That's the scary thing. Starting on this damn journey here. Going into some of the research material that may or may not be truthful or not. That's the issue there, Rev. Because there always has to be terms and conditions and some things applying before humanity ever figured this shit out. We keep figuring that uh, revelation is coming, the rapture is coming, but we don't know when because God will know. What causes it? There have been a lot of causes that we guessed about. Is that correct or is it incorrect? Now I have to keep asking, I have to keep questioning. Is it so wrong to ask God on this situation? Is it so wrong to look for information like that? But what is one going to profit with it? It's not profiting. He's understanding. He's trying to get a bearing of this thing. If I'm going to be getting sinful like crazy, then what am I sinning on? If I've already been screwed up already, then I got to be praying for forgiveness for something I inherited. I'd rather be getting judged that shit I've already screwed up on, that I deliberately or directly or indirectly did. Said, thought, acted on, felt, believed. How am I supposed to deal with this? So now I have to keep asking and questioning my motives. And under which template am I supposed to be following? So if I put a faith and trust in Jesus at this point over here, then I'd love to have all the information necessary and figure it out and try to ask him this if I could. Why were we created in sin? We were born screwed up because of someone else's action that translated throughout time forward. But why were the conditions there in the first place? And what the hell happened in the previous creation that led up to this particular situation we're in right now? I understand about this particular situation. The Big Bang Theory happened. And then everything else got formed and processed. There was a design in that one. Thought, meticulous care were made. That's because they were following a game plan. Being recycled. Being recycled. I don't know. That's how it's getting to me at this point over here. We talk about things we should not be doing. Okay, I understand that. Why the hell were we getting ourselves in this situation? It's wrong to commit murder. Yes, it is. It's wrong to kill. Yeah. You're killing for survival. It's another thing. You still have to live with that one. You still have to deal with it. You're killing for sport or you're killing for food? For food, that's one thing. Sport, not kosher. And if I happen to make any kind of decisions like that, I'm saying if, those are the decisions I've made, and I have to be responsible, accountable, and transparent because that is my sin. Making the choice directly or indirectly on that one. But if I did it directly, then I did it deliberately. I had information, knowledge, I had an intent. I get judged for it. But I'm going to be born out of my mother's womb with sin. Of something that I didn't do wrong, that I didn't remember or even acknowledge that I did wrong, but I'm born screwed up. There had to be terms and conditions. There had to be something prior to that. If I could ask God on these questions, if I could just throw it at him on this one. What the hell happened before you created the earth and the Garden of Eden? What happened to put those conditions in place? How dare I? I ask, I dare. Because you want faith, you want trust. I need to know. But here's the thing: there's going to be a catch to that. If I actually got the hold of that information, I mean seriously to the point where the brain's about to give me an aneurysm, would I be able to communicate it after that? See, there's something right there in it. Yeah, you're hearing it, aren't you? That's massive temptation on this one here. No joke. There's always a price to be paid, even for absolute knowledge. There's always a price. Never comes cheap. Sometimes ignorance is bliss because we're not equipped, we're not allowed to have that just yet. It's not time. It's not time. If we happen to get ourselves in that kind of a situation, man, we're really screwed, aren't we? I know I am. And that's a hell of a thing to put myself into. A hell of a thing to ask God on this one. Because there's always a price. And is my ego that big and that bad enough and that screwed up enough to want it to challenge God on that one? I wouldn't blame it from him being pissed off. I wouldn't. How dare I? It's not asking a question. It's how I'm asking the question. And with an attitude? With an ego? Ooh. Like I know better. I don't know any better. If I did, I wouldn't be pushing him on this one. I really wouldn't. We're born of sin. Okay, fine. We inherited it. No fault of our own, no control over the damn thing. I still got to live life on life's terms. I still got to deal with it on a day-by-day basis. So I don't know what else I can say or do to add more to this weird conversation we're having here, one-sided as it may be. I'm going to have to pray for forgiveness. I'm going to have to pray for reasons why I'm getting punished for something I didn't do. You show me and tell me what I screwed up on. What was my actions, intentionally or unintentionally? What did I screw up on? So I can find an adequate defense on the damn thing. If I got a guilty mind on this one, then I know I did it, directly or indirectly, and therefore I would have to feel responsible, accountable, and transparent for it. But this other sin situation over here going on, you tell me what I did before my existence that I have to inherit it. I still don't want it. I still don't like it. I'm not going to have it. Everything else I've done, okay, fine. But I don't accept the idea that I was born in sin because someone else screwed up a hell of a long while ago. I'm not following that damn logic. Screw that noise. I know we're all born screwed up one way or another. Well, we all make choices. And some other choices, we don't have any options. But there are other options we still have. So if I'm going to be praying to God and I'm going to be praying to Jesus to forgive me for the scripts I've done, or thought of, or harm I've already inflicted, that's one thing. But I don't know what the hell of sin I've inherited, except the wages of sin or death. Well, I already died once before I came back to life again. Not fun as a human being. So maybe the next time I'm going to be staying down for good. Or maybe not. That's a thought I'd rather not be dealing with right now.